My name is Tanya Kirkbride, and this is Space to Unwind Online. This is going to be a Hatha practice, all levels, accessible for anybody, whether you've done yoga with me for years or whether this is the first time you're coming to do a little bit of movement in your body, because with the craziness in the world, you feel like this is really something that you need, an opportunity to reach into spaces in your body, to open them up, a chance to breathe, and just to ground your energy a little bit. I hope that this practice will offer all of those things to you. I am in my home studio in Barrhaven in Ottawa, Ontario. This is Space to Unwind. And if we haven't practiced here together before and you're local, I invite you to come and join me once the world returns to some kind of normalcy again. Hopefully that will be sooner than later. For our practice today, yoga props are something that we have lots of in a studio, but you at home probably don't have anything. There's nothing specific that we require today, but if you're new or you're feeling really tight and uncomfortable in your body, something that resembles a yoga block would be really helpful. It's something that can lift the floor up to meet your body where you are, to give you space to move where it's comfortable so that you don't push yourself into spaces that you don't need to go, or maybe aren't ready to go, or maybe just shouldn't go. So 2 books, nice and thick, approximately the same size, do the exact same job as a yoga block, or anything else that resembles this kind of shape with some density that you could put some weight on under your hands, works perfect. Or we leave it out, and I'm going to give you ways to not require these kinds of things. So the practice we're going to work through this morning is actually the practice that I mostly do for myself when I'm at home, and that I've been using over the last week and a half or so. A little different than the one I normally offer in class, but that's okay. It's just a chance to move. So we're just going to sit for a moment, close your eyes, and let your shoulders get soft. If you notice that your low back is rounding back, and this is a really uncomfortable way for you to sit, see if you can pop a blanket underneath your sit bones, or anything else, even a book or a block, just to help tilt your pelvis forward so that it takes that rounding of your low back, and then sitting is a little more comfortable. You don't have to sit like this. You can sit in a way that's comfortable for you. And then let your eyes close, let your shoulders melt, let your arms just dangle and rest. And start to notice the quality of your breath. Notice if you're breathing really rapidly. Just notice how much stress you feel like is existing in your body. We've all been existing in a space of some pretty intense pressure and anxiety, even if we are thinking that we aren't. So let your breath slow. Let it come in through the nose. And as it does, let it get heavy and drop all the way down to the bottom of your stomach, so that your stomach starts to feel like it inflates like a balloon. And then let the breath rise all the way up through the ribs to the very top of your lungs. Let your lungs inflate as much as they can, and pause there. Just suspend the breath here. See if you can just let it be in the space of your body. Feel like your body's getting really open and expanded from the inside. And when you feel that urgency to breathe, take a little sip in through the nose. And very, very slow, to a count of 8, exhale through the nose so that the breath leaves the heart space. Lets the ribs fall. Feel the belly deflate. Keep the shoulders moving back, but not rounding forward. And then just keep that breath flowing. Slow, deep breath in. When you get to the top of your inhale, as much air as you can take in, just suspend it. So don't hold it. Don't crunch the body down. Just stop breathing. And when you feel that urgency, take a sip of air in. Just a little more. And then exhale through the nose. Long, slow, complete exhale so that you feel all of the air leave your body. Keep your spine tall so it doesn't round and collapse forward. Let's do one more just like that. Slow inhale. So the belly rises, the ribs start to open, the heart lifts. Suspend the breath. When you feel the need, take that sip in. Let it go slow through the nose, leaving the rest of the air to completely escape the body. Feel the belly draw in towards the spine. And take a slow, deep breath in. Open the mouth. Let go. Again, full deep breath in. Side out the mouth. And one more just like that. All the air you can take. Pause just for a sec. Just hold it there. Let it rest in the space. Feel really open and expanded. Sip that in. And through the mouth, let it go. Open your eyes if they were closed. Let's let the ear drop towards your shoulder. So right ear towards right shoulder. And use your chin. Shift and move it around until you find that line down the side of your neck that all the tension is in, and then just pause in that space. And when you breathe, breathe like you feel like your body's breathing into that line and starts to let it go. You can close your eyes here if you like, and each exhale, just feel that tension, all the engagement there start to slip away, and if you lose that sensation, you can shift again back into it. Let's take one more breath here. We're going to drop the chin towards the chest so the head rounds forward, and we're going to reach that opening, the lengthening into the back line of your neck. Just let your head be heavy. Keep the spine lifted and the shoulders moving back. Slow breath in. Feel the space start to open between the vertebrae at the neck. And then we're going to drop the left ear towards the left shoulder, coming to the other side. Move really slow so that you can feel everything, all the tension. Let your shoulders melt down and away, and then shift and move that chin. Explore into the space, the side of the neck, until you find that line. Oh, you'll know when you find it. Breathe there. Let the breaths be long on the inhale and the exhale, so that you're releasing tension not only in the neck but through the whole body, through the sit bones, the legs. One more breath right here. And if your neck really feels like it's lost some of its integrity and its muscles now, you can bring a hand to the side of the face to help bring the head back to center. Just pause here for a moment. Let everything realign, all the muscles come back into space. And then we're going to come to stand at the top of our mat. If you're practicing along and you would like some music during your practice, all of my playlists are on Spotify. I'm going to hit play on Spring is Coming. And you may or may not be able to hear that as we practice this morning. We'll give it a shot. And if you can't, then you can just find it on Spotify and hit play. So as we come to the top of our mat, take your feet about hip width apart, stand really tall, let your shoulders melt back, and the crown of your head reach towards the ceiling. We're just going to open through the side body a little bit. So take a breath in, energize the arms, reach up for the sky. Interlace the fingers, press for the ceiling, and feel like your ribs are lifting up out of your hips so that you feel long and open. We're going to take a side bend here. So take a full breath in and reach taller. On your exhale, we're going to bend from the hips towards your right. So press into the left foot so that you feel the ribs start to open as you lean over to the side. As much as is comfortable, this might be a tiny little movement. And if having the fingers bound doesn't feel good, take the wrist. Inhale. And then take your gaze up towards the ceiling if it's okay on your neck, and see if you can just open that top shoulder a little bit more. Next breath in, come all the way back through center. Again, we reach for the ceiling. Changing sides. On your exhale, we're going to start to bend over towards the left, ground through the right foot, side bend. Feel this right from the pinky toe all the way up the side of the leg, through the ribs, the shoulder. Take the gaze up towards the sky if that's available in your neck. Inhale, come back up through center, reach for the sky. Release the hands so they're reaching up. little baby back bend here. So lift up first and feel like your heart is lifting up and over, just pressing your hips forward. This might be a tiny little movement. You might have lots of space. Just work in a space that feels good. Take a full breath, reach. Tuck the chin, inhale, come back up, standing tall. We're going to take the hands behind the low back. Interlace your fingers, draw your knuckles down, squeeze your shoulder blades back, open up the heart. Maybe take your foot stance just a little bit wider. Inhale, lift the heart. Notice if you have a really large arch in your low back, and see if you can draw the tailbone down, bring the ribs under the shoulders. Inhale, and maybe the hands move away from the low back. There's space in the shoulders. Let this feel good. Soften everything, but keep the hands bound. We're going to fold this forward now. So on your inhale, you're going to bend the knees a little bit, start to hinge at the hips. The hands can move away from the low back as we take this into a forward fold. Keep a nice strong bend in your knees so that your belly starts to come towards your thighs, whether your hands are away from your low back or not. Root the base of your big toe down. Hang out here and breathe. And if you have space in your hamstrings, you might straighten one leg, the left leg, and then switch it and straighten the other. Just moving back and forth, or standing just with your knees bent. Coming back to bent knees if you're moving. Lift the heart just enough to release the bind on the hands. Let the hands hang down towards the floor. And see if you can reach the heart down towards those big toes and start to lift the hips high towards the ceiling. Start to find some space in this fold. And if this is really a challenging shape for you, then your knees are bent a lot and you just let everything hang so that you have some traction through your spine. Let this feel really good, so find a space where it does. Let's take one more slow, deep breath right here. You're going to press into the feet just a little bit. We want the hands to come down to the mat. So full base of the palm coming into the floor. We're going to step back into a downward facing dog. So step both feet back. And as you find your down dog, let's bend the knees first. I want you to spread your fingers and press the floor away so that you start to get really long from the base of your tailbone through the whole spine. Feel your shoulders open up and your hands really press the floor away. Slow, deep breath here. And then whether or not your knees start to find a little bit of length, they can always stay very bent. Or you might start to reach your hips for the sky. Start to reach your heart back towards the big toes. We're just going to hang here for 3 slow breaths. Let this down dog feel really good. Draw your core towards your spine. See if you can feel like you're wrapping your shoulders away from the spine so that your armpits are trying to look at each other, and then press the floor away. Slow, deep breath. We're going to rise up onto our toes. So press the floor away with the feet so that the toes are flexed and the hips are as high as they'll go. Keep pressing the floor away as you do this. Be really long through your spine. Start to open up everything. On your next inhale, moving really slow, we're going to unwind and roll forward into a plank so that your shoulders come over your wrists and the knees can come down or they can stay lifted. Plank pose. Press the floor away. Keep reaching the crown of the head forward. Slow, deep breath right here. Now, whether your knees are up or down, does not matter. Press into the toes just a little bit. Start to lower all the way down towards the floor. Untuck your toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Cobra pose. Lift the heart forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Keep the elbows bent. Slow, deep breath right here. Now this can be really low towards the ground, or start to come up if you have space through the low back. Now move, so you're looking over one shoulder, maybe rolling across the hips a little bit. We want this to feel good, just an exploration through the upper body. Come back to your cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Heart forward, gaze up maybe if it's there. Exhale, come all the way down. Press the floor away. Come to hands and knees. Bring your big toes to touch and take your knees nice and wide. Let your hips sink all the way back towards your heels. This is a wide child's pose. Let the forehead start to get heavy towards the floor. And if that doesn't happen, that's okay. You can bring forearms down. You can make a pillow with the back of your hands. Take a moment here to come back to your breath. Slow, deep breaths into the whole back line of your body. Let's take 3 more slow breaths right here. Next inhale, we're going to come towards hands and knees one more time. So bring your wrists underneath your shoulders. Your knees can stay wide or they can come back underneath the hips so they're more parallel. We're going to take a wide child's twist here. So bring your right hand underneath your face. Inhale the left hand up into the sky. We're twisting open so the ribs and the heart and the shoulders open up. Press the floor away, open through that top hand. Exhale, reach the hand back towards your heels, just exploring through the shoulder. And then on the breath in, reach it forward, open through the side body. Inhale, come all the way up. Now this lifted hand here, we're going to reach it underneath your supporting arm and twist so you reach as far away as you can. Bring your shoulder down towards the mat, twisting through the upper spine. Now your right hand can walk forward. It can reach up towards the sky, which intensifies this twist, or it can rest across the low back. So take an opportunity here to adjust yourself. Bring your chin away from your chest so your neck feels really good. And then once you find your space to settle, let your hips start to get heavy back towards your heels so you get length in your spine. We're going to breathe right here for 3 more. And if you want to go a little bit deeper with this, it might be hard to see on the video. I'm going to give you the cues. You can open your right toes. So your knees on the mat, your right toes open out to the side, tuck the toes under, and then you start to press into the toes and lengthen the leg. In yin, we call this rolling panda. In yang, this is called outrigger. It reaches into the space between your shoulders. This is really an exploration. You can play with this. It's either going to feel fantastic or it might not feel like a place you want to go. So you have to investigate in your body. Let's take 1 more breath wherever you are, whether you're in outrigger or you're still in your wide child's twist. If you're in outrigger, your right hand comes back to the floor to support you. The knee comes down towards the mat. Bring the big toes back to touch. We're going to press into the floor, everyone. Unwind your twist so that your hands come back under the shoulders. Take a breath right here, pause. Moving to the other side. So the left hand comes under the face. Inhale the right hand up into the air. Open the ribs, the heart, shoulders. Breathe into this twist. It feels really great. Reach the hand back on the inhale. And then on the next breath, sweep it all the way forward, reach into the ribs. We're going to take it back up into the sky. And then thumb into our twist. So this lifted hand comes under your supporting arm again, reaches all the way across so the shoulder comes down. Adjust your head and neck. And then your left hand might reach forward. It might come up into the air. It might come across your low back. Choice is yours to explore. When you find your space, let your hips reach back towards your heels. Slow, deep breaths right here. And if you want to go into outrigger a little deeper into the space between the shoulders, we're going to open the left foot out to the side, tuck the toes under. Adjust your head and neck first. Make sure your chin is away from your chest. And then press into those toes. You can reach the hand up. Slow, deep breaths wherever you are. If you're in outrigger, bring the hand down to the mat first. Knee finds the floor. Toes come together. Press the floor away, unwind your twist and pause right here. Slow breath. We're going to bring the knees back underneath the hips, and we're going to take a gentle salutation flow. So we're going to shift the hips back towards your heels. This is child's pose, but closed child's pose, or traditional child's pose. Leave your hands forward. Let your upper body get heavy towards the floor. Take a full breath right here. On your next inhale, we're going to sweep the hands up into the air, come up onto your knees. This is knee mountain. And then the hands come to the low back. We're going to bow down so the forehead comes towards the floor. Inhale, we come to hands and knees. Drop your core into cow pose. Lift your heart and your tail. Exhale, press the floor away, round into cat. We're going to shift the hands forward just a touch. Come towards a knee plank. Take a breath right here. Lower all the way down towards the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades back to find your cobra pose. As low or as high as feels good. Exhale, come down. Press the floor away and round through cat, so rounded spine. And the hips come all the way back to your child's pose. Take a breath. Next inhale, rising back up into knee mountain. Take your time, energize the hands. Exhale, hands to low back. Fold forward, forehead comes down. Inhale, come to hands and knees. Drop your core. Lift your heart and tail. Exhale, round the spine. Start to really tuck everything in so you feel the vertebrae move. Shifting forward into a knee plank. So maybe your hands move forward depending on the length of your torso. Exhale, come all the way down towards the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, coming up into your cobra. Exhale, come all the way down. Let's build a little bit of strength or awakening into the arms. We're going to take the hands to the outside of your mat or onto the floor, wherever you are. Come right up onto the tips of your fingers, so tented fingertips. And let your hands be in line with your shoulders and your foreheads down. Take a full breath, squeeze your shoulder blades back, press into the fingers like Spider-Man, lift the heart. Take a full breath here. Exhale, come down. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, press the floor away, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Feel everything in the front line get opened. Exhale, come down. Last one, press the floor away, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Inhale. Exhale, come down. Hands come under the shoulders. Press the floor away. Round your spine through cat pose. Hips come back to your child's pose. Take a breath. 1 more. Inhale, come all the way up onto your knees. Reach for the sky. Exhale, bow down, hands to your low back. Forehead comes forward. Inhale, come to hands and knees. Drop your core. Lift your heart and tail, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, cat pose. Come forward into your knee plank. Here's an option just to press the floor away, draw your core in and feel strong in your plank, or you can take some push-ups with me, just from the knees. Take a full breath in, make your choice. If you're taking the push-ups, come all the way towards the floor. Don't come right down. Press the floor away, there's 1. You can do 1 or 2 or 3. Come all the way down. Press the floor away, that's 2. 1 more, come towards the floor. Press the floor away, that's 3. Beautiful. Come all the way down to the mat, everyone. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Find your cobra. Maybe there's more space now. Take a full breath right here. Exhale down. Press the floor away, round your spine through cat. Hips back to your child's pose. Breathe here. 3 slow, easy breaths into every space that feels like it needs a little bit of attention and love. One more slow, deep breath here in your child's pose. And then come back towards hands and knees. So the knees are underneath the hips. Fingers are spread wide on the floor. We're going to tuck the toes under and start to pick the hips up into a downward facing dog. So press the floor away. Keep the knees bent a lot. Feel your shoulders open and your spine get long. Take a breath right here. And if it feels right, you might find some length in your legs and start to let the heels get heavy towards the floor. Slow breath. Let's take one more right here. And I want you to take your gaze between your hands so we can see where we're stepping. And then we're going to walk the feet, hop, jump, whatever feels good, up towards the top. Keep a bend in your knees and fold. This is called ragdoll. Let everything hang from the hips. You can sway and move here if that feels really good. You can take opposite elbows. You can interlace the hands behind the neck. Let's take 3 more slow breaths right here. Move any way that feels good. Pedal the legs. Stay in stillness. Now, if your hands are in any kind of bind, elbows behind the head, just let them dangle towards the floor. Bend your knees a lot. Come all the way slowly up to stand. Start to reach the hands towards the ceiling. Maybe a baby back bend would feel fantastic. As you exhale, draw your hands down towards your heart center. Close your eyes. Take a moment to press the big toe into the floor so you feel your whole sole of your foot adjust towards the mat. Shoulders melt down. Take any arch out of your low back. And let your breath start to slow. One more breath right here. And then let it go. Make any adjustments you need. Maybe grab a sip of water. You can't see me very well there. I'm going to have to work on adjusting the camera angles. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back towards the top of our mat. Just a few standing postures here. Root those big toes down. Bring your hands back to heart center. Take a full breath in, reach for the sky. No sun salutations today. Exhale, hinge at the hip, draw your heart down towards the floor. Just a little bit of movement, standing, working through the hamstrings. Inhale, come to your flat back. So draw your core in. Your hands are going to slide up your legs lightly. You want to squeeze the shoulder blades back so you feel like you're a beautiful table with the crown of your head reaching forward. Send your hips back. Feel really strong here. Slow breath in. Exhale, fold it back down. The knees can bend a lot. This time I want you to bend them a lot. And then come all the way up to stand, reach for the sky. On your exhale, we're going to hinge all the way back down towards the floor. Bend the knees a little bit as you do that. Reach the hips high, the heart for the big toes. Come to that flat back again. So draw in the core, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Reach the crown forward. Take a breath right here. Exhale, take the fold. And I want you to bend your knees enough that your hands come down to the floor. If you have blocks or books, you can place them on either side of your foot so that the floor is a little higher to where you are. But you don't need to use them because you can bend your body to meet you where you need to be. Let the hands come right down towards the floor. We're going to step the left foot back, finding a runner's lunge. So you're on the big toes of the back foot. Press the heel back. And your hips might be really high here, and that's okay. We want the knee to start looking like it's going to come over this ankle. Reach your heart forward. Keep the neck nice and long. Runner's lunge is often a transition pose that we just pop into quickly. I like to spend some time here. It builds strength in the core and the legs. It gives an opportunity for the inner legs, the inner groin to open back up and slow down the heart. And we're going to place the right hand on the floor inside the foot, or maybe onto a block or a book. Inhale, twist open, left hand reaches up for the sky. Keep pressing the heel back on the back leg and reaching the heart forward and open. Slow, deep breaths right here. Exhale, that hand comes back down to frame your front foot. Now we're going to start to find some length in this front leg. You might find just a touch. You might have lots of space. Just work in a way that feels good for you. So on your inhale, I want you to lift your hips a little bit and find a little bit of length in this front leg, like you're trying to straighten it a little more than it is. Maybe you find lots of space, maybe not. Wherever you have available, breathe right there. Keep lengthening through the spine. Inhale, come back into your runner's lunge, so bend the front knee, reach the heart forward. Do the same thing again. Inhale, lift the hips, find a little bit of length in that front leg. Again, books, super helpful here. Inhale, come back forward into that front knee. One more time. Inhale, take the hips back. And coming forward, runner's lunge. We're going to drop the back knee and untuck the toes. And if that's hard on your back knee, if you have a yoga mat, you can fold it over to add cushion. If you have a blanket, you can pop it underneath. If you tuck your toes under and just draw that knee back a little bit and try and be on the front of it rather than on the kneecap, that often feels much better. And then on your inhale, we're taking the hips back again, finding length in this front leg again, but we're going to pull the toes up off the floor. This leg never has to straighten. Reach the heart forward. This is half split. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward, and on the exhale, if you have the space, just let the upper body start to be heavy. Inhale, come back forward into our low dragon. Feel this through your inner groin. Take it back again. Inhale, hips back, lengthen this front leg. Inhale forward, find your low dragon. One more just like that. Inhale, come forward. Lengthen the leg, hips come back. Inhale, come back, runner's lunge. As we tuck the toe under and lengthen that back leg. There we go. We're going to step that back foot forward just a little bit. And come with the weight evenly in both feet. And then press the floor away and start to lift ourselves up into, this is crescent lunge. Reach the hands nice and high, but you can turn that back foot on a 45-degree angle so that you're off the back toes. This is much easier to stand in, a little less strength building. If you're wanting more strength, then you spend that time in your crescent lunge. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, just sink in. Inhale, reach up one more time. On the exhale, the hands are going to come behind the low back. We're going to interlace the fingers again like we did earlier. Draw the knuckles down, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Some of us have lots of space here. Some people don't. It's just the structure of your shoulders. So if your body doesn't do this, it's okay. Leave your hands in your low back with your elbows bent. But play in the space that's available. Slow, deep breaths through the heart, up. And sink in on your exhale. We're going to take a humble warrior here. So we're going to take a full breath in, get tall, press into both feet really strong. And on your exhale, we're going to fold forward at the hips. Take your heart to the inside of your front knee. If you have the availability through your shoulders, the hands might move away from the low back. We're only here for one slow breath. Then use your core, press into the feet, come all the way back up. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, the hands come back down to frame your front foot. Turn onto the back toes, so we're back in a runner's lunge. That back foot's going to step up. Take a fold. Bend the knees a lot, come all the way up to stand. Reach for your sky. And exhale to heart. Let's do the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge all the way down, folding. Bend the knees. Coming to your flat back, so squeeze the shoulder blades back. Your hands can slide up the legs. Exhale, fold. We're going to bend the knees a lot so the hands come to the mat. This time, the right foot's going to step back. Sorry, the left foot's going to step back. Find your runner's lunge. And we're going to hang out here for just a few breaths again. So you're pressing that back heel back. The front knee is over the front ankle. Find some length through your spine so your heart's reaching forward. And you find that beautiful line from your heel all the way through the neck, right to the crown of the head. Next breath in, we're going to start to see if we can find a little bit of length in that front leg, right? So you're going to lift the hips up and see if you can find a little bit of length in that front knee. Maybe it starts to find something that resembles straight. Maybe it barely moves. Doesn't matter. Take a full breath wherever you are. Then on your inhale, you come back into your runner's lunge. Inhale, take it back. Lift the hips, lengthen the front leg. Inhale, come back. Runner's lunge. Heart reaches forward, heel back. One more like that. Hips are high. Find your length, whatever that is. Inhale, get long through your spine. Exhale, take a breath and hang out here. Inhale, come back. Find your runner's lunge. Back knee's going to come down. Release the toe. So here we are. This is our low dragon. We're going to turn this into our half split. So our hips start to come back towards the back foot. Front toes peel up off the ground. Your leg starts to find whatever amount of length it has to straighten out. You feel this through the hamstring and the back of the leg. Inhale, heart comes forward. Find some length through the spine. And on your exhale, you see if you can sink down. Don't forget your blocks or your books, whatever you might use for props if they're there. Inhale, coming back forward into your dragon. Take it back again. Hips lift, toes peel, front leg starts to lengthen. Inhale, come forward. Heart forward. One more. Hips back, toes lift, lengthen out. Let this feel really good. Inhale, come forward. Tuck the back toes under. Lengthen that leg. Runner's lunge. Now we're going to step that back foot forward just a little bit so that we have a better grasp of the distribution of our weight. Put the weight evenly both in the front foot and the back toe so you feel like you could spring up off the floor. And then we're going to press into both feet. Start to lift ourselves up, come up, reach for the sky. Here's crescent lunge. You can stay there, or your back foot turns onto a 45-degree angle and your shoulders come back forward towards the top of your mat. Warrior one. Inhale, reach. And exhale, you just sink in and hang out here in whatever version of this feels good. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands come down behind the low back. We're going to interlace the fingers, draw your shoulders back, open up the heart space, take a full breath here. Coming towards our humble warrior. So inhale, get long through your spine, lift your heart. Exhale, we're going to fold this forward so your heart comes down inside the front knee. If there's space, your hands move away from your low back. Take a full breath here. Really turn on the core, feel your glutes engage. And then use all the strength in your lower body and your core. Come all the way back up. Release the hands. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands come back down to frame the front foot and come on to the back toes. We're back in our runner's lunge. Drop the back knee. Release the toe. Bring the front foot to knees. Find a child's pose. So you can bring the knees wide. You can keep them closed. Find a resting pose here that feels good. And breathe into all the spaces in your body that are speaking to you. Take a moment to make any adjustments that you feel like you might need. Let this feel good. Let this be a rest for your body. Let the breath come back down. Just investigate this. Make it back into a rebound of your body, your strength, and your breath. Let's take one more slow, deep breath here. We're going to take one more standing sequence. So we're going to come back towards hands and knees. I want you to tuck those big toes under. Start to find your way back to a downward facing dog. You can walk this out, and if you do, this is called pedaling the dog, just do it really slow. Press one heel down and feel the whole length of the hamstring, the calf muscle open on the back of the leg that's planted. And then take a slow breath and shift to the other side. If we pedal the bike like a marathon sprint to the finish line, we really just shake up and break up all of the work and the lengthening and the strengthening that we have done so far. So we want to enhance it, not take away from it. Press the floor away. We're going to take our gaze between the hands. Walk, hop, step up towards the top of the mat. Take a fold right here. Bend the knees a lot. Come all the way up to stand. Exhale through heart center. Take a breath. Now we're moving slow and we're being mindful in our bodies. So work with what feels good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge, fold all the way down. Bend the knees a lot so the hands again find the mat. We're going to step the left foot back and find that runner's lunge again, just for a breath. Here, press the heel back, reach the heart forward. We're going to turn the back foot onto an angle. Press evenly again into both feet. Come all the way up to stand, so we keep the lunge. Open the arms into warrior two, so your left hand reaches back and your right hand reaches forward. Now just notice in yourself, because you don't have mirrors, hopefully, then you don't need to worry about specifically what it looks like, but feel like if you're reaching forward with your heart, and see if you can bring your heart so it's over top of your hips, so that you're standing in the present. Press into both feet really strong. Reach and energize through the arms. Notice if your front knee is dipping inwards, and start to open it out towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Slow breath. And turn the front palm up. Drop the back hand towards the thigh. Reverse warrior. Inhale. This is a side bend. So reach that front hand up and over. So you want to feel this through the side ribs into the shoulder. The gaze can be back towards the foot or all the way up to the hand, depending on how this feels on your neck. If you've lost the bend in your front knee, that's okay. Just sink back in. Slow breath in. Reach up. And then slowly come back into your warrior two. Maybe find a smile. We're going to windmill the hands down. So the back hand sweeps forward. We're going to come to frame the foot. So you turn on the back toes, come back into your runner's lunge. And we're going to walk the hands around to the long edge of our mat. So we're in a wide standing forward fold. And then just let everything hang. If this is really challenging in your body, maybe a shape that you don't normally do, and the floor is really far away, you can bend the knees a lot. You can take your blocks or your books and build them up underneath you so your floor comes higher to where you are. If you want to make this more intentional, you can walk your hands between the feet and draw yourself down, or you can just hang out and let this be really restorative here. Slow, deep breaths wherever you are, whatever version you choose. And then I want your hands to come underneath your face. So if the floor is not accessible to you, that's okay. Just let them hang. We're going to bend the right knee and keep the left leg long. And if your hands can find the floor, great. Keep them there and let them walk you and guide you back and forth. This is called Skandasana. If you have a lot of strength, this is something you've practiced before, you can bring your hands to heart, draw your core in, and let this be really strong. Take an inhale, we're going to switch. So bend the left knee and straighten the right. Inhale, switch towards the top of your mat. Right knee bends. One more. Left knee bends side to side. And then we're going to walk back towards the top of the mat. Find your way back into your runner's lunge. We're going to step that front foot back to downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths right here. Press the floor away. Reach your heart towards those big toes. Then take your gaze between your hands. We're going to step the left foot up towards the top of the mat, finding a runner's lunge on this side. Help that foot forward if it needs. It can be really challenging. Press the heel back, reach the heart forward. And we're going to find our way into our warrior two again here. So that back foot, you're going to turn it onto an angle, press evenly into both feet, and then come up to stand, open up. So your right hand reaches back, your left hand reaches forward. Opening that front knee towards the pinky toe side. Slow, deep breaths right here. One more. Let it be slow, deep. Feel everything that's happening, all the muscles, the challenge of the breath. Exhale and sink into your warrior. We're going to turn the front palm up. Drop the back hand towards the thigh. Side bend. Inhale. Reverse warrior. Take the hand up and over. If you've lost the bend in your front knee, that's okay. Sink back in on the exhale. Gaze can be to that back foot or all the way up to the top hand. One more breath here. Exhale, come back into your warrior. We're going to windmill the hands down. So come back into your runner's lunge. Turn onto the back toes. Hands find the floor. Runner's lunge. And then we're going to come around to the long edge of the mat. I'm going to come to your side so you don't have to look at me from behind. Coming back into our fold. And this time, if you took the stronger version before where you drew yourself in, just let this be restorative. Let the hamstrings open. And if you're really far away from the floor for any reason, bend your knees enough that your hands come down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. So lift the heart up and forward. Send the sit bones back so you get long through the spine. And then exhale, take your fold back down. One more time again. Inhale, lift the heart, long spine. Send the sit bones back. Find as much length as you can in your hamstrings. You can even shift and move a little bit here. Exhale, fold. We're going to walk ourselves back into our runner's lunge. So walk your hands around to the front of the mat. I'm going to switch my legs back. Take a full breath right here in your runner's lunge. Back knee comes down, release the toe. Front knee comes back, find your child's pose, or maybe you sit back up on your heels, let your eyes close, see how you're feeling. I'm going to start to cool right down now. Hopefully your body feels nice and warm and open. And if you're in a child's pose, take this opportunity now to come sit back up on your heels. And if being in this position is something that your body is just not going to do, then come right down to sit. That's okay. We're just going to give a little bit of attention to the upper body right now. Take an inhale, reach the arms up for the sky. And then I want you to take your hands, place palms together, and then draw them back towards the back of your neck. And then squeeze your shoulder blades back and see if you can open your elbows. Your heart's going to move forward. You want to reach into the space of the shoulders. You're going to close the eyes and breathe here. And notice if suddenly you have a really strong, pronounced arch in your back, and see if you can bring your ribs back underneath your shoulders. Slow, deep breath. Work in the space that feels available to you. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, take them out into a T. Eagle arms. So we're going to bring the arms forward. We're going to take the left arm under first. Wrap your arms around so that the hands take opposite shoulders. This is also eagle arms, depending on what's available in your body. If this is available, you can play with moving towards a full eagle arms. Inhale, you bring hands back to back towards each other, maybe palm to palm. Inhale here, send the shoulders forward and away from the spine. See if you can lift the elbows just a little bit. Slow, deep breaths right here. Maybe your chin tucks in to be kind to the length of your neck. Whatever version you're in, see if you can just lift your heart just a little bit. Slow, deep breath. Inhale all that you can. Exhale, release where you are. Take the arms all the way up into the air. Again, palms to palms. See if you can bring the hands towards the back of the neck. Open the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades, bring the ribs underneath the shoulders. Spine's nice and long. Close the eyes, breathe here. Inhale, hands reach up. Take it to a T. This time, right arm underneath left. You can bind across the shoulders or bring back of hand to back of hand, palm to palm, eagle arms. Inhale, lift the elbows if you have that space. And then maybe you lift the heart, little tiny back bend here. See how this feels. Play and explore. One more full breath. On the exhale, release what you have. Arms reach up. Exhale, come down. Come down to sit if you aren't there already. We're going to bring soles of feet together so that your knees tip out to the side. And if you have blocks or books, you can pop them underneath the thighs, underneath the knees to give yourself a space to rest into. That makes it just a little bit more restorative because you can let go of the muscles and release to the hips just a little bit more. Take an inhale. Lift the tall spine. Send the shoulders back and down. Now notice if your low back is again doing that rounding back where this doesn't feel very comfortable. And if it's something that you're experiencing, fold your mat over, pop a blanket underneath your sit bones. You can even pull the flesh away so that you feel like you're grounding down the front of the pelvis. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, we're going to fold this forward. Just gently though, more of a yin style. So bring the elbows to the inside of the legs. Let the hands come towards the floor. So we're not grabbing anything and striving. Inhale, draw the heart forward, get long through your spine. And then exhale, just let everything round forward, wherever you are. Letting go of the muscles, letting go of control of the breath. See if you can tune into your body and notice where you're still holding tension or where spaces feel really tight. And then each exhale, really mindfully see if you can start to relax and release those spots. Let's take one more slow breath right here. Let your hands come to the floor to help guide you back up through center. Then close up the knees, put the feet on the floor, a little wider than hip width. Bring your hands behind you. We're just going to take some seated windshield wipers. The knees fall to the side. Explore through the back. Play in this twist a little bit. And if you're feeling cold at all, you want socks, you have a sweater, you have a blanket nearby, grab them. We're going to start to come down onto our backs, wind down with a couple twists before we make our way to a Shavasana. So coming all the way down, you can bring knees to chest, give yourself a squeeze and rock side to side. And then just pause, let your shoulders melt down, let the feet find the floor. We're going to press into the feet, scoot your hips towards the left. Let's wrap the left leg over the right. This is an eagle twist. Pick the knees up towards the chest, take a full breath in, and then we're going to let the knees fall over towards the right. And as you do, let the legs splay, let them unwind, let them find a space that feels good. Let your shoulders melt back towards the floor. Take a slow, full, deep breath in, and as you let the breath go through your mouth, big sigh, find a home for your arms. Maybe they come to a T, maybe they reach up overhead, maybe they rest on your body. Let this be what feels good for you. Close the eyes, slow, deep breath. Send each inhale into the space along the ribs. Let's take 3 slow, deep breaths right here. Knowing that you can always come out of a pose when your body tells you that it's ready to do so. Last big breath here. Now engage your core and your sit bones just enough to safely bring yourself back through center. Feet find the floor. Align your spine. Take a moment to pause. And then press into your feet enough to shift your hips to the right. Cross the right leg over the left. Bring the knees to chest on an inhale. And on the exhale, the knees start to fall over towards the left. Again, as you come down, let the legs find a space that feels good. They might stay twisted. They might completely unsplay. Shift and move. Maybe they come towards the chest or further away. The shoulders melt back. Take a full deep breath in, and as you let the breath go, find that home for your arms, whatever feels really good for you. Let's take 3 more slow, deep breaths right here. Taking your time so the breath moves straight through the body, starts to expand through the ribs. As you exhale, feel yourself melt down towards the floor. Let that last breath go. Again, engage your core, your sit bones enough to bring yourself safely back through center. Unwind your twist. Align your spine. Take a breath. And now we're going to move towards your Shavasana. So for Shavasana, you come down on your back, or any shape that would feel good for you. So if you have pillows, lots of blankets, you want to prop yourself up in a way where you can sit and relax completely, then that's what I want you to do. Find a space where you can let go of all muscle and tension, all stress, everything in your body. Let your eyes close, let yourself melt down towards the floor. I'm going to take a moment to guide you into your Shavasana, and then I'm going to leave you in this space. Please feel free to stay as long as feels great. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. Really, Shavasana is going to integrate everything and give you a space to really, truly relax and let go of everything that's been weighing on you lately. So let the eyes close, let your shoulder melt down towards the floor. Take a moment to scan yourself from head to toe. Find where the stress is still hiding in those joints and spaces. And then with intention, release your core. And as you do, feel your low back, your sit bones, your thighs. Feel them release at the same time. The legs might just roll out to their natural spaces. The tension in the palm of the hands unwind and go. Take a slow, deep breath in so that breath drops all the way down to the base of your belly. It really expands. The ribs open, the heart lifts. Open the mouth and let it go. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.